People of Reddit, what was the most NSFW event you ever stumbled upon in high school? Went to a Christian boarding school. You'd be surprised the amount of fingers in vegans during chapel. I ran cross-country in high school. Sometimes during practice we would run through trails in the woods surrounding the high school. One day right after school ended, we started running down the trails and stumbled upon two students having sex. Judging by their reactions, I don't think they were expecting a group of 15 guys to run by while they were getting it on. High school bus hit a deer. Police were called. Deer was shot 3 times in front of the bus to put it down. Watched it from the parking lot while skipping school. I went to a boarding school my freshman year of high school, and a few weeks in, I volunteered to help walk our librarian's dog for her while her leg was healing after an injury. So I was walking this huge dog through the woods around campus when he suddenly sniffed the air and just ripped the leash out of my hands and took off into the underbrush. I started chasing after him when I heard screaming and yelling. I thought, oh God, this dog mauled someone and I'm going to get expelled. Broke through a clearing and there were 5 half-naked upperclassmen trying to put their clothes on and scatter while this dog is joyously barking and jumping up on and licking them. TLDR, accidentally interrupted an orgy in the woods with my librarian's dog. Walked into a bathroom after school and found a guy and a girl about to go to town. She had her shirt off and skirt up. He had his pants on. I caught them just before the moment of insertion. I said nothing. I would have left them to it, except all other bathrooms on campus except this one were always locked shortly before last bell. So I silently walked to a urinal, calmly did my business, properly washed my hands. By the time I went to leave, the girl was hiding in a stall and the guy was waiting by the door. I shrugged at the guy. Guy shrugged back. I left and heard the door lock behind me. Not one of us said anything or made a sound during the entire exchange. In band before a football game, I walk into the percussion room to hang with the homies. Everyone is huddled around this dude in the corner of the room laughing, so of course I walk over to check it out. Turns out the dude was showing everyone how tiny his d is and everyone was so fascinated. Yeah, it was really small. Like from the tip of your pinky to the first knuckle down. I've never seen anything like it, lol. Some kid at a party got blackout wasted and shat himself. In the middle of the crowd, he took his pants down and slipped in it, proceeded to army crawl to try and make it out but just smeared it everywhere. He is still known as the party pooper. I went to a small party at my friend's house. My girlfriend and I got there late. We went in and noticed nobody was in the living room. Weird. They said they'd be here. Start walking to the back and I could hear several voices in the bedroom. I just opened the door and there were 7 of my friends just having a casual orgy. What happens in the locker room should stay in the locker room. With that said, I once walked in on a kid shoving a crucifix up his ass on a dare from his friends. Had a guy run through the school completely naked. High school, by the way. Even ran up and slapped some teacher's ass. Haven't heard of him since. Used condom left wrapped around the tap on the sink in the boys' toilets. A week later it was still there. A month later there was another one next to it. I'm a teacher who teaches in a high school. First day on the job had 2 kids beaten cheeks in the back of one of my shop cars. Should specify I'm an automotive teacher. Pretty NSFW if you ask me. Girl gave a blowjob to a guy and his friends filmed it. It was the talk of the school and she changed schools. 2 years later she came back and sucked a different guy's D by the same dumpster. No one filmed it this time. In middle school the health teacher went to show a video on the projector and I guess he had porn on his video player. He offered everyone A's to keep quiet. He was fired, then went to work for a Catholic school. This is probably more NSFL. One morning during recess, the neighbor, whose property was only separated from the school field by a little wire fence, small town New Zealand, came out and started sharpening his axe. He then called the kids over and cut the heads of his 3 puppies off in front of us. This was in elementary school. This is NSFW in a different way than most of the stories here, but when I was in high school, I liked to go to the balcony of our theater to take naps during my free periods. It was dark, quiet, and usually empty, which made it such an ideal spot for napping. One day I walk up the stairs and see a girl from the grade below me that I sort of knew cutting herself with scissors. She freaked out and ran away. I eventually caught up with her and we had an intense conversation. We became friends after that day and I encouraged her to start seeing a therapist, which helped her a lot. Unfortunately, we lost touch when her parents moved to a different state and sent her to some boarding school. A girl, freshman, went viral on Snapchat because the guy she was giving head to recorded her and said it was terrible during the recording. She's now dating and cheating on the guy we called Cherry Picker. Walking in on people having intimate relations was not uncommon at house parties in high school. However, one time, this girl that I liked was at the same party I was at. She had been flirting with me quite a bit throughout the evening, but at one point she disappeared and was nowhere to be found. Trying to find a restroom, I stumbled into one of the bedrooms to find her getting gang-banged by 3 dudes. Walked out and breathed a huge sigh of relief for dodging that bullet. Was walking around outside my high school and saw a dude leaning up against a wall getting a BJ. They didn't see me, so I quietly turned around and walked away. The janitor didn't cordon off the area when someone spilled a large half-gallon of milk. One student ran into cafeteria, slipped and busted his butt. The janitor was suspended for 1 day. This was before cell phones had passwords. Found a phone. Looked at the pictures to see who it was. Saw a video of girl spreading peanut butter on her genitals and having her dog lick it off. Girl at my my sophomore year got caught eating a guy's butt in the theater by our principal. Went to a private, all-boys school. My senior year I walked into the band practice hall on a Saturday afternoon to find 2 guys going at it. One was elbow deep in the other's ass. And that's how I found out what fisting is. I didn't report them, but I did call the one Kermit for the rest of the year.